Good morning. I'd like to call this meeting to order of the House Veterans Affairs and Emergency Preparedness Committee meeting. Chairman Solomon has had a scheduled conflict and asked me to chair this meeting today. My name is State Representative Brian Monroe. I represent the 144th District in Bucks County, and I've been a member of this committee since I joined the legislature last year. And I'm also a Navy vet as well, so as many people here are vets as well. At this time, I would like to ask Representative Genst to lead us in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We are honored to be joined here today by members and guests of the Pennsylvania War Veterans Council. I want to thank Legislative Committee Chairman Bob Gray and Ms. Christian Dagenhart-Smith from the American Legion for bringing the council here. We're also honored to be joined today by retired Army Colonel Walter J. Marm, Jr., a Medal of Honor recipient for his actions in the Vietnam War. Thank you, sir, for being here today and for your service to our nation. Did he step out? Okay. We'll go back to that. With that in mind, our agenda today is entirely appropriate as it deals with these very issues. Chairman Gillen, do you have any opening remarks?
Just very briefly, it was my great privilege to interact with the Pennsylvania War Veterans Council early on, and even as the meeting was underway and they were sharing what their priorities were, we were kind of huddled in the corner, Executive Director and Secretary Schlaba, as to how we could advance some of these priorities legislatively. So very pleased to be here this morning. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Jamie, please take the roll.
Chairman Solomon, vote by designation. Representative Borowski, VBD. Representative Brown, VBD. Representative Genst. Here. Representative Haddock, VBD. Representative Markozik, VBD. Representative Monroe.
Here.
Representative O'Mara, VBD. Representative Pielli.
Here.
Representative Sappi.
Here.
Representative Scott. Representative Paul Takak.
Here.
Representative Webster. Here. Representative Dan Williams, VBD. Chairman Gillen. Here. Representative Banta. Here. Representative Ham.
VBD.
Representative Krupa.
Here.
Representative Mako. Here. Representative Rigby.
VBD.
Representative Shalaba. Here. Representative Stair.
Here.
Representative Sender. Here. Representative Wattrow. Here. Representative Craig Williams. Here. We have a quorum.
Thank you very much. At this time, I'd like to call up House Resolution 335, printer number 2664, introduced by Representative Takak for the committee's consideration. So, Representative Takak, thank you for being here this morning to explain your resolution. So you can please proceed when you're ready.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chair. This resolution is a bipartisan sponsored resolution that would direct the Department of Military and Veterans Affairs to create a task force on Agent Orange and other toxins to make sure that all of our veterans and their families are aware of the many resources and benefits that are available to them, as our awareness of the scope of the issue and what we need to do to make sure to take care of them. So with that as a brief introduction, I could have some other comments after as well.
Thank you very much, sir. I am offering amendment A03652 to this resolution after a constituent that actually emailed me in the last week, as well as the Department of Veterans Affairs, asked us to take a look at the same issue. You want to go back as the maker of the bill? You want to just talk about the amendment as well?
Sure. Yeah, thank you again, Mr. Chair. I believe the amendment accurately reflects the spirit and intent of the resolution, as including an existing reference to the PACT Act and burn pits, for example. And I thank you and ask for support of the amendment.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, do you have any comment?
Yeah, very briefly, I have a friend and neighbor who's a World War II veteran. He also served in Korea as well as Vietnam, and he has visited the Capitol. And we need to walk alongside those individuals who stood in harm's way and help heal some of those harms. Fascinating as it is, he walked the streets of Nagasaki after the bombing there. We knew very little about the long-term effects of radiation. He went on to serve through Korea and Vietnam. And when I think of this fine resolution and to need to help heal and direct those individuals to help, I can't help but think of Luce and Vesey back there in our home district. So thank you for advancing this important piece of legislation. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Are there any other comments? Seeing none, with no further discussion, is there a motion to adopt Amendment A03652, offered by myself to House Resolution 335, moved by Representative Takak, seconded by Representative Wattrow? There has been a motion and a second. Are there any negative votes on the amendment? Seeing none. So the amendment has been adopted. Returning to the resolution, is there any discussion on the resolution as amended? Representative Takak, would you like to?
Thank you again, Mr. Chair. To echo the chairman's comment, we owe our veterans not only our gratitude, but really an ongoing commitment to honor their service by caring for them and their families, particularly if they were harmed as a result of that service. In the case of exposure to Agent Orange and other toxins, the harms to them and even their families may actually not be evident until years or even decades later. As a result, the programs, the benefits, and the treatments available, as well as changes in eligibility, evolve over time. Therefore, ensuring that we do everything possible to create awareness, to improve access to those resources is critical. Since entering the legislature, making it easier for veterans and their families to access the benefits they deserve has been a key focus for me, as it has for so many others here on this committee and in the General Assembly as a whole. Therefore, I was very proud to join with colleagues on both sides of the aisle as sponsors and supporters of this important and impactful resolution to create a task force in Pennsylvania here to address Agent Orange and other toxins. I think this resolution really embodies the kind of important work we can do, particularly on this committee, by setting aside our differences and working together to do what is right. And before closing, I'd also like to thank and recognize one of our colleagues who's not here today, Representative Tarek Khan, who played a really instrumental role in bringing this coalition of folks together and helping move this forward. So I think I speak on behalf of many of if all of the prime sponsors of this resolution. I thank you for your time, and I ask the committee for an affirmative vote. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. Are there any other comments? Chairman. Okay, with no further discussion, is there a motion to report the House Resolution 335 introduced by Representative Takak as amended? Moved by Representative Mako, seconded by Representative Webster. There has been a motion and a second. Are there any negative votes? Okay, seeing none, the motion has been, the resolution has been adopted. Sorry? Reported as amended, thank you. At this time, I would like to call up House Resolution 336, printer number 2669, introduced by myself, Representative Monroe, for the committee's consideration. House Resolution 336 designates March 29th, 2024 as Vietnam Veterans Memorial Day. I do have a prepared comment. So just go into discussion. First of all, I would like to thank my co-primes on this as well. Representative Dean Wattrow, Representative Mike Cabell, Representative Paul Takak, Representative Chris Piele, and as Representative Takak noted, Representative Tara Khan has also been instrumental with respect to this resolution. As a Navy veteran who represents a district with a sizable community, supporting them is something that's been very close to my heart. The resolution, as we stated, will designate March 29, 2024 as Vietnam Veterans Memorial Day in Pennsylvania. This resolution honors the memory of those who served, and I did pluck this directly from the co-sponsorship memo because I think it sums it up perfectly. It honors the memories of those who served, those who died, those missing in action, and those suffering the effects of their service, including behavioral health issues, physical trauma, and chemical exposure, such as Agent Orange. Something else that's very unfortunate, or I should say unfortunately, sets Vietnam veterans as unique was how they were treated upon their return home. There's a saying that I've heard many times in my role as a state rep back in my district: protest the war, never the warrior. So I think that we're all honored to keep a special place in our heart for Vietnam veterans, and I ask for a yes vote on H.R. 336. So are there any other comments or discussion? Seeing none, Chairman?
Thank you. As you were reading there and sharing that, I couldn't help but think of two names of my youth, Brennan and Schultz. They were neighbors, and they didn't come back alive from Vietnam. And certainly the heroes of that war were unappreciated or underappreciated. And I saw the reaction of my parents. My dad was a World War II aviator. My mom was Rosie the Riveter. They were enormously disappointed at the reception that the Vietnam veterans received when they came back. It divided the country, and I think this helps us to unite. And so I'm pleased that you've offered it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. With no further discussion, is there a motion to report House Resolution 336 introduced by myself, Representative Monroe, as committed, moved by Representative Pieli, and seconded by Representative Craig Williams? There has been a motion and a second. Are there any negative votes to the resolution? Seeing none. House Resolution 336 is reported as committed from the House Veterans Affairs and Emergency Preparedness Committee. I'd like to call up at this time House Resolution 347, printer number 2752, introduced by Representative Watcher for the committee's consideration. Representative Watcher, thank you for being here. Where are you?
All right.
Sorry. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Chairman Gillen. Thank you. Over 3,500 individuals have received the Medal of Honor since its establishment on March 25th, 1863, of which 63 are still alive today. Pennsylvania has a rich history of Medal of Honor recipients, with 379 having been born and raised in the Commonwealth, meaning that over 1 in 10 of those heroes have come right from here in Pennsylvania. There currently exists a segment of highway running through Pennsylvania from the Ohio to New York borders named the Pennsylvania Medal of Honor Highway in honor of these brave heroes. It is critical to recognize the bravery, the valor, and achievements of those amazing individuals that sacrificed so much for the safety and continued prosperity of our great country and Commonwealth, and in turn who wholeheartedly support the ideals and goals of National Medal of Honor Day here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Once again, Mr. Chairman, I thank you very much, and Chairman Gillen, and I ask for a yes vote on this.
Thank you very much. Is there any other comment on the resolution?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was telling some folks before this started, I have the pleasure of having a constituent who is the son of a Medal of Honor winner. He actually never got a chance to meet his dad. He was lost in World War II before he was able to come home to meet his son. His name is Foster Sayers, and if any of you have been to Bald Eagle State Park, the dam is named after him. but I know his son very well, and for those of you who would like to see the Medal of Honor and learn a little bit more about it, the Pennsylvania Military Museum is also in my district. It's in Boalsburg, Pennsylvania, and the medal is actually held there in a vault, and they would be happy to share that with folks. So I think this will be very meaningful to my constituent, Foster Sayers Jr. So thank you very much for making this.
Is there any other comment? Seeing none. Chairman?
Yeah, I certainly think, as is the case of these other resolutions, it's extraordinarily timely. Colonel Marm being in our midst, and I was with my daughter working out this morning, and she's finishing up her junior year, and she's in our ROTC program. And so we certainly look back and rightfully want to honor and recognize and heal the harms, but I think it's also important looking forward to somebody who is contemplating a career in the military, which my daughter is, to know that there's this kind of encouragement that's going to be offered, this kind of recognition, and if harm were to come her way, that there would be this kind of healing that a legislative body would be contemplating. So once again, Representative Wacho, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. With no further discussion, is there a motion to report House Resolution 347, introduced by Representative Watrow, as committed, moved by Representative Genst, and seconded by Representative Banta? There's been a motion and a second. Are there any negative votes on the resolution? Seeing none, House Resolution 347 is reported as committed from the House Veterans Affairs and Emergency Preparedness Committee. And that concludes our agenda. So thank you all for being here today at our meeting. I invite everyone, if they have no pressing matters, to stay here and spend some time with the War Veterans Council and General Marm. Thank you again for everybody for being here today. Chairman Gillum, do you have any closing comments?
I would hope that we could package this meeting and dispense it throughout the entire legislature. I am so pleased and honored to be a part of this committee. It's beyond bipartisanship. There's a real camaraderie here. Those of you who put the uniform on in this room don't view this as a Democratic or Republican enterprise. You view this through the prism of duty, honor, and country. This is about American patriotism, so thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. And the only thing I'd like to add is obviously it's the first time I ever got to chair a committee, so it is an honor to do it. Just some advance notice, but it was well prepared. So I appreciate your work and everyone being here today. So if there's no further business, this meeting of the House Veterans Affairs Emergency Preparedness Committee is adjourned.